As a Republican politician, betraying Trump means the death of your career. This is a full list of every Republican who destroyed themselves while trying to destroy Trump.
You're fired.
Paul Ryan. As Speaker of the House in 2016, Paul Ryan withdrew his support for Trump after the Access Hollywood tape leak. He later blocked parts of Trump's agenda and undermined his presidency from behind the scenes. Consequence, Trump publicly called him out, and Paul Ryan retired from Congress in 2018 with a damaged reputation. He has since become irrelevant in Republican politics, and his attempts to push the GOP away from Trump have failed miserably. Mitt Romney. In March 2016, during the Republican primaries, Mitt Romney delivered a speech denouncing Trump, calling him a phony and a fraud, and urging tactical voting to prevent Trump's nomination. Consequence, Trump dismissed Romney's criticisms, referring to him as a choke artist.
He's a choke artist. He's an absolute, and I started hitting him so hard. In fact, people say, why'd you hit him so hard? Because we cannot take another loss. We can't take another loss. And Mitt is indeed a choke artist. He choked, and he choked like I've never seen anyone choke. So ultimately, Mitt chickened out.
Despite his opposition, Trump secured the nomination and the presidency. Romney continued to be a vocal critic, becoming the first senator to vote to convict a president from his own party during Trump's first impeachment trial. Jeff Sessions. As Trump's attorney general, Jeff Sessions recused himself from the Russia investigation in March 2017, allowing the deep state's witch hunt to go unchecked. Consequence, Trump publicly disowned him, mocked him repeatedly, and endorsed his opponent in the 2020 Alabama Senate primary. Sessions was humiliated and lost his comeback attempt. Bob Corker. The Tennessee senator trashed Trump, calling the White House an adult daycare center in 2017. He repeatedly opposed Trump's policies and helped derail key initiatives. Consequence, facing backlash from Trump supporters, Corker chose not to run for re-election in 2018. His political career ended in a shameful disgrace. Jeff Flake. One of Trump's loudest critics in the Senate, Jeff Flake, gave an anti-Trump speech in 2017, warning that Trump was a danger to democracy.
Reckless, outrageous, and undignified behavior has become excused and countenanced as telling it like it is, when it is actually just reckless, outrageous, and undignified. And when such behavior emanates from the top of our government, it is something else. It is dangerous to a democracy.
Consequence, Jeff Flake's approval ratings collapsed, making re-election impossible. Rather than face a humiliating primary loss, he retired in 2018. John McCain. In a defining moment, John McCain killed Trump's Obamacare repeal in 2017 with his infamous thumbs down vote. He also pushed the Steele dossier, fueling the whole Russia hoax. Consequence, Trump never forgave him, openly mocking him multiple times, even after his death in 2018. John McCain's political legacy was tarnished, and his seat eventually flipped to a freaking Democrat. Rex Tillerson. As Secretary of State, Rex Tillerson allegedly called Trump a moron behind his back and resisted Trump's foreign policy decisions. Consequence, fired via tweet in 2018, Trump later mocked him as dumb as a rock. Rex Tillerson has been politically irrelevant ever since. James Mad Dog Mattis. The former defense secretary resigned in protest over Trump's Syria policy in 2018 and later attacked Trump after January 6, calling him a threat to the Constitution. Consequence, Trump called him the world's most overrated general, and his credibility immediately collapsed. John Bolton. Trump's national security advisor left in 2019 and later published a book attacking Trump, accusing him of being reckless. Consequence, Trump called him a liar and a traitor. John Bolton's book flopped, and he has since been a laughingstock among conservatives. Bill Barr. As Attorney General, Barr refused to challenge the 2020 election results, publicly saying there was no widespread fraud. Consequence, Trump turned on him, calling him weak and pathetic. Barr left office disgraced in the eyes of MAGA. Mike Pence. On January 6, 2021, Pence refused Trump's demand to reject electoral votes certifying Biden's win. Consequence, Trump called him weak, and Pence was booed at conservative events. He tried running for president in 2024, but dropped out with almost no support. His political career is dead.
I'm sorry, Mr. Vice President, I know you're running for president. You are distressed that the Ukrainians don't have enough American tanks. Every city in the United States has become much worse over the past 3 years. Yeah. Drive around. There's not one city that's gotten better in the United States. And it's visible. Our economy has degraded. The suicide rate has jumped. public filth and disorder and crime have exponentially increased, and yet your concern is that the Ukrainians, a country most people can't find on a map, who've received tens of billions of U.S. tax dollars, don't have enough tanks. I think it's a fair question to ask, like, where's the concern for the United States in that?
Well, it's not my concern. Tucker, I've heard that routine from you before, but that's not my concern.
Liz Cheney led the January 6th committee and voted to impeach Trump. Consequence, stripped of GOP leadership, censured, and lost her primary in 2022. Now she is irrelevant.
Bye, bitch.
Adam Kinzinger voted to impeach Trump, joined the January 6th committee, and called Trump a dictator. Consequence, the GOP literally erased his district in redistricting. He retired in 2022, but he got destroyed. Mitch McConnell. As Senate Majority Leader, McConnell acknowledged Biden's victory after the Electoral College vote in December 2020, and he blamed Trump for the January 6th protests. Consequence, Trump called him an old crow and vowed to remove him from leadership. He is no longer Senate Majority Leader, and his influence in the party has since weakened. Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski. Both senators voted to convict Trump in his second impeachment trial, claiming he was responsible for January 6th. Consequence, the GOP base turned against them. Murkowski barely survived her re-election, while Collins remains deeply unpopular with conservatives. Ron DeSantis. In 2023, Ron DeSantis attempted to challenge Trump for the Republican nomination, distancing himself from Trump's influence and attacking his leadership. Consequence, DeSantis flopped in the primary, ran out of donor support, and was crushed by Trump in nearly every poll. His presidential ambitions are forever dead. Nikki Haley. She flip-flopped on supporting Trump before running against him in the 2024 primary. She positioned herself as the anti-Trump Republican. Consequence, Trump destroyed her in the primaries, she became irrelevant, and has no future in politics. The 10 House Republicans who voted to impeach Trump. Tom Rice, South Carolina. He lost his primary to a Trump-backed Russell Fry. Jamie Herrera Butler, Washington, lost primary to Trump-endorsed Joe Kent. Liz Cheney, Wyoming, lost her primary in a landslide. Peter Meyer, Michigan, lost primary to Trump-endorsed John Gibbs. Dan Newhouse, Washington, survived his primary but now is politically irrelevant. Adam Kinzinger, Illinois. His district was erased, retired rather than face a MAGA challenger. Fred Upton, Michigan, retired rather than run again. Anthony Gonzalez, Ohio, retired citing Trump's influence. John Katko, New York, retired rather than face Trump's party. David Villado, California. He was the only one to win re-election but remains unpopular. Christopher Wray. Appointed by Trump as FBI director in 2017, Christopher Wray protected deep state actors, downplaying election fraud in 2020, and later oversaw the FBI raid on Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate in August 2022. Consequence, Trump publicly regretted appointing him, and Chris Wray is now viewed as one of the worst personnel decisions of his presidency. General Mark Milley secretly called China behind Trump's back in 2021, and then compared Trump to a Nazi in 2024. Consequence, Trump called him a treasonous piece of garbage. Milley's military career ended in disgrace. John Kelly. As White House Chief of Staff, Kelly frequently worked against Trump's agenda. He leaked information to the press and later accused Trump of being unhinged. In 2024, he compared Trump to Adolf Hitler, trying to damage his re-election bid.
He's certainly an authoritarian, admires people who are dictators. He has said that. So he certainly falls into the general definition of fascist, for sure.
Consequence, Trump dismissed him as an idiot and a total lightweight. His attacks on Trump had little impact, and he faded into obscurity. The pattern is undeniable. Republicans who turned on Trump, whether through impeachment votes, election interference, or public attacks, almost always lost their careers, credibility, or influence. Trump's power within the GOP has not weakened, it's stronger than ever. Those who bet against him have lost, while Trump remains the most dominant force in American politics today.